Hey, what's up everybody? Coming back with another build video. If you haven't had the chance, I've actually been playing a Warden build on and off in Battlegrounds. I've been really enjoying it. Figured I'd share with everybody. If you're liking the content, feel free to hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. You can check me out on Twitch at Infamous NYC. Link will be in the description. Also, if you're looking for any sort of Battleground builds, be sure to check out Battle of the Build, link in the description. I'm putting a lot of builds together. They're going to be there on the website, whether you want a stamina build or a magicka build, hybrid builds, all classes. I'm putting together a huge compilation of different Battleground builds that I've been playing and I've had a huge amount of success. I enjoy Battleground builds. I enjoy playing Battlegrounds. I like making builds in the Elder Scrolls Online. It's one of the things I love about this game is that there's a wide variety of builds that you can create and enjoy. With that said, this is a Warden build. For a long time, people have been saying that the bear was in particularly useless. It really wasn't that great. Most people end up using Northern Storm or Permafrost. But I've really enjoyed using the bear ultimate. I find it does a lot of damage. Different to like Northern Storm or Dawnbreaker. The bear does consistent damage. As you can see the tooltip there, every swipe is 3,000. Of course that's cut in half in PvP, and of course every couple attacks the bear will in essence rear up and do an AoE attack for 12,000, and of course it also stuns. The one thing I love about the bear is that it gives you access to an execute that this build in particular doesn't have, but it's a really cheap ultimate at only 75 ultimate. And you see there, you can see the tooltip, it does 15, almost 15.4, but it says there that it deals an additional 100% more damage to enemies below 25%. So the bear actually acts like an execute itself. Does really a lot of damage. I think, you know, the bear was nerfed before, but it still works out really well. I really enjoy using it. It does a lot of damage. It's really overlooked in terms of maybe in 1v1s or dueling or in Battlegrounds. I don't see a lot of Wardens use the bear. Works really good. I enjoy it. So looking at the sets, I am running the 1 Kina, 1 Dama House. You could run, for example, another good set that I do enjoy using because this build lacks a stun is Celestrix. Celestrix is a really good set. It says when you deal damage, you have a 10% chance to cause an earthquake under the enemy that erupts after 1.5 seconds. It deals damage, and then it does an AoE where it knocks everybody down for 3 seconds. And of course, that happens every 5 seconds. So that's an option. It's a really good option. I've used it before. Just for this presentation, I am showing the 1 Kina, 1 Dama House. Because it gives you the max stats to both Magicka. We're running Impin on both of them, and then of course Kina for the extra weapon and spell damage. And of course we want the extra spell damage. For this particular set, I really enjoyed Hundings. I thought Hundings was really good to complement with the Warden. This is a 5 heavy, 2 medium build, but you can see there, you can see that we're still running quite a bit of weapon critical even though we're in 5 heavy. You can see the stats here, 27k. This is with Try Food. We're 2715 and almost 31,000 stamina. The recovery is a little low, but that's not important. We're running little 4100 in terms of our weapon damage, and like I said, with that 39 crit, you can see our resistances aren't too bad. And look at that effective weapon damage, 8,100. It's a lot of effective weapon damage for a Warden. We are running dual wield. I am running 1 axe Nirnhoned with a shock, and that's to proc for the extra 8% damage from concussion. And then on my offhand, I decided to run a dagger for the extra critical, and then I'm running the physical damage and then a little bit of restore to help with the stamina regen. Of course, with dual wield, you're going to be heavy attacking a lot to gain back your stamina, and so that just kind of helps a little bit more. And then on the back bar, we're running an axe for the extra bleed. When you're rotating through our back bar, you're going to be light attacking in between, and of course you want to do that to keep the Berserker glyph on the back bar infused Hunting's axe. And then the other set that we're running is the belt of, it's the Hunt set. And the reason being is because for the 5-piece, it says when your pet attacks an enemy that you have also attacked in the last 10 seconds, you heal for 2400 and then you restore stamina. So this is the way that we're restoring both our HP as well as our stamina while our bear is attacking. And of course, you can either use the control key. If you're on PC, it's shift and Y, or you can just heavy attack. When you heavy attack somebody, the bear will focus that person, and since we are running dual wield and a lot of our regen is going to come from heavy attacks, it works out just fine. And so it gives us a really nice beefy regen to both our HP as well as our stamina. So we're restoring stamina from this set, as well as heavy attacks from the glyph. I like it, works out really well. I chose to go with an infused reduced stamina cost. This is about a little over 300, and I ended up golding it out, and then I'm running two weapon glyphs. Right, and so we're running, as you see here, I ran 2 sturdy. I always like to run a little bit of sturdy for situational blocking, because blocking reduces all direct damage by 50%, and so the more times we can take advantage of that, the better. In terms of our abilities, I'm running Rending. The reason being is for the slow. The slow really helps for the bear to keep pace with your opponent. I really don't need the heal, because every time we're casting an ability, either where it's Subterranean or if it's Cutting Dive, we also have Resolving Vigor on the front bar, so we have a lot of ways to heal ourselves. And then of course the ticks from Forward Momentum, and then of course we're running Green Lotus, so as we're either light attacking or heavy attacking, we're gaining a lot of HP back, and so it really helps to cut down the amount of times that you have to cast Vigor. It's really important to understand to try to use heavy attacks and light attacks. Make sure you're weaving, and then that's able to both heal you, and of course it's able to heal your allies as well. Like I said, we're running Subterranean. It's got almost a 13k tooltip, and that's also for the Fracture. I chose Cutting Dive over using the Execute, because the Execute in particular is only really good when the person is obviously in Execute range, but Cutting Dive gives us a little bit of range. And of course, if you hit someone from range and then the bear attacks that person, it will proc the regen from the hunt set. So that's why I went with this, to give us a little bit of range in case we're fighting either a Sork or maybe a Nightblade from range. This gives us the option to put out a lot of damage. You can see that tooltip, 9500. It's a lot of damage. Basically, you can cast Vigor. Of course, we're running Bird of Prey for the mobility, as well as the Minor Berserk. Of course, Bear on both bars, and then of course Green Lotus for the extra crit, as well as the healing. This is a flex spot. You can either choose to run Shimmering, or you can choose to run Vines. They're both good morphs, both good options. If you're going to run Vines, you want to run Leeching Vines. It's the better option for this particular build. As you can see right there, the return is a little over 700, plus every time you attack, it's going to return an additional, it says 600, but in no CP, of course, that's cut in half. So you're going to get 600 every second when you're being attacked, and of course while you're attacking, that's an additional 300. So I would flip to this over using things like Shimmering if there aren't a lot of either, I'd particularly say if there aren't a lot of Magicosaurus in your BG, then I would swap this out for Leeching Vines. The reason being is because it will also help with your regen. I mean, the light attacks from Green Lotus, as well as the heavy attacks, will also give you whichever resource is your minimum, so whichever is lower. So most of the time you're going to be regenerating max magicka, but then as you're getting lower in your stamina, as you're attacking, it will also give you back stamina. And of course that's from the Warden has a passive here, so when you heal an ally with a green balance ability, so this would count as a green balance ability that can heal. It can heal you or an ally, and of course that will give you either 250 magicka or stamina. It just depends on which is lower at the moment. So for the most part, you're going to be getting magicka ticks, but then once you're starting to run dry on your stamina, it's going to start to give you back stamina as you're attacking. So you want to make sure to keep this up as often as possible, because it gives you also your critical buff, and we're running a pretty good amount of critical, which means literally of the 5 ticks of vigor, 2 of those ticks are going to crit. We are running Forward Momentum. We're not really doing a lot of roll dodging. This is our way of getting out of snares. And then I chose to run the Blue Betty for the mini cleanse, as well as being able to get a little bit more of magicka regen, because we've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3, we've got 4 different magic abilities. And so between the snare and between the removal of 1 negative effect, as well as the extra magicka regen, comes in really handy. And of course it's also a free heal, so every time you cast an ability in the Animal Companions, it will it will heal you right here. So you're going to get about 630, and it's free, so when you go to your back bar, you're able to get some heals if you're line of sighting. So maybe you don't have to cast Vigor, you can just cast Blue Betty a couple of times. One thing I do like about it is important if you're fighting either a DK or someone that roots you, you want to be sure to hit forward momentum first and then Blue Betty, so you'll get both the root or the snare that's attached to you off of you, and then you'll get a negative effect off. It's a really good combination. And then of course we're running Ice Fortress, and then of course we're running the Wild Guardian on both bars so that it doesn't despawn. For my character is an Imperial. I find Imperial is a really good choice because of the extra HP. Get 2000 HP, you get an extra 2k stamp, and then of course you gain the regen. You get reduced cost as well as extra health, magicka, and stamina every 5 seconds when you deal direct damage. So we have a lot of sources of regen. We've got good amount of HP and stam. Like I always say, you want to shoot for, I'd say, at least 30k stam, and then for a heavy frontline build, I really like to be around the 25k. And of course, because we're an Imperial, we gain extra HP, and of course as a Warden we also gain minor toughness, so we're sitting really high, 27k. That's a lot of HP, and then of course got a good amount of magicka, and of course 30k stamp, and then 4100's really good solid amount of weapon damage, and we're able to put out some good damage. Like I said, we are an Imperial, and of course we are running Mundus, and yes, this is in Cyrodiil, and of course all points into stamina. I hope you're like this build. I'm going to be posting a clip that you'll see at the end of this video. Feel free to check me out on Twitch at InfamousNYC, link in the description, as well as check out Battle of the Builds. It's your #1 resource for Battleground builds and for Battleground content for all classes, all play styles. I'm Infamous, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.